gentlemen, yes, this is your favorite show, Sports Unfolded, with your favorite hosts, Eric and Ron.
Hey, sports fans! Welcome to the best sports podcast in the world, Sports Unfolded, where we cover all of the top sports stories going on in the world today. I am your host, Eric. My main man right over there, Ron. How are you tonight?
I'm doing well, and apparently the fans are already responding because we had somebody waiting for the show. We've already got a viewer out there, so
Let's go. If you are live and you would like to talk to us about any topic, just join our chat. Let us know what you want to talk about, and we'll gladly bring it up and talk with you as long as it's not politics or religion. We have
listen. Went out there
we could talk some. We could talk some Star Wars tonight, Ron.
Yes.
Luka, may the force be with you. Our title will tell you exactly what we're going to talk about tonight. We are also on WDJY 99.1 FM every Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in Dallas, Georgia. If you're listening to us, check us out Friday night, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Rhode Island Broadcasting, where we are live and you can help join our podcast as well. Tuesdays, SECTV, Channel 12, Southeast Connecticut. You can see us on Public Access Channel 12. If you like what you see, check us out Friday night, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'd love to have you. And then follow us on all our social media platforms at Sports Unfolded, at RI Broadcasting, Broadcasting RI. So many different ways to like, follow, share us. But we're going to have some fun tonight, Ron, because there is a lot to cover. We are on. We are ready. And let's go with our leadoff story, and that is the NBA Finals, Ron. They're set, ready to go. The Dallas Mavericks versus the Boston Celtics. What do you think about this series and what will happen? What should we be looking for?
Oh, this is going to be something because
I'd love to be on the screen, though.
The what?
I'd like to be on the screen. I think that would be kind of cool. I think people want to see these pretty faces, Ron.
Oh, did I take you off? Oh, I'm so sorry.
There we are.
How's that? That's still not right, but I don't know. Something's. Oh, you know what it is? They changed this format for the program, so couldn't tell you how it changed it. But anyway, look right off the start, the matchup. Right, you're talking Kyrie Irving coming back to Boston to play them in the finals. That is big in itself, and then Luka making his first appearance in the finals. That's a force right there. That is a force.
May it be with you.
Yes.
I'll say this, Ron. So I've been listening a lot of the national media and what they've said, and I'm a little ticked off. And I want to lose a Christmas card tonight because I'm going to tell you right now, nobody is giving the Boston Celtics any credit for what they've done and how they got here. Everybody's talking about they had the easy road, right? Miami with no Jimmy Butler. And then,
well, they did,
with Cleveland. You still got to win games, Ron. The New England Patriots.
I get it, but they did have an easy road.
The New England Patriots were 17-0 going into a Super Bowl, facing a team that was 9-7. Is it not a guarantee? Obviously not.
No.
So you win the games that are put in front of you.
You have to bring up stuff that cuts deep.
Because you know why? Because people need to hear that they played the games that were in front of them.
Absolutely.
And they won the games that were in front of them. That is not the Boston Celtics' fault. On top of it, Ron, they dominated those teams. So it wasn't like they barely got by. They swept Indiana, who was in the play-in tournament finals, right? But they were a good team, a very fast-paced team. Offensively, right? They shut them down. People need to start to respect the Boston Celtics because I'm tired of hearing about Luka. Yes, he's a phenomenal player. Phenomenal player. One of the best in the
But
league.
it's Luka.
Yeah, I'm going to Luka.
I had to let you hear it one more time.
Yeah. Yet, listen, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum have played just as well in the postseason. You got Derek White, who's a very good defensive player that can
White and
probably
Holiday have been fantastic.
right. Drew Holiday.
Oh.
You're getting Porzingis back.
And let us not forget about Horford, like how he's
off
been
the bench.
playing.
Off the bench, right? And he's not hungry. He doesn't want one. 18 years in the league, longest playoff drought or finals wins in NBA history.
This is why he stayed with Boston, to knowing that he was going to be a backup role, and knowing that it's Porzingis, that he probably still start a lot.
Yeah,
but he took a lesser role because he knows Boston's right there. It's right. They're right there.
My problem is this too, Ron. Were the Boston Celtics the best team in the league all year? They had the best record. They were the best team in the league, had the best record. They make it sound like they backed into the playoffs, and then all these teams got hurt, and then they couldn't perform, so that's why Boston won. Boston has dominated all year. All year.
If there's anything that and I know I've said it, that they cough up bad losses because they don't get up for these games that they should easily win.
That's the only issue.
Their wins record could have been even more, and it should have been more. I mean, when you're losing games to like Orlando and stuff, I mean, those should have been wins, and they might have made a run at the record.
I don't know. I don't know why it's bothering me, but it is. And I think that people have to understand that, to your point, yes, they have bad losses.
Yeah.
But give me a team who doesn't.
No, there isn't one. They've dominated all season long for the most part, right? Now it's the stigma of coughing it up in the playoffs, right? That's the stigma they got to get through. And they're not going to get the respect until they do it. And that is just as simple as that.
So let me ask you this.
Going to get the respect.
No pun intended. They didn't get lucky. I like it. I'll ask you this. How many has Luka won?
None.
But yet, all I keep hearing about is how great Dallas is, and Luka's not going to let them lose. He hasn't won either. This is his first finals.
And that is the sidecar of all of this, if you want to, the whole circus of it. It is Luka's got to get that stigma off of him too, right? And they keep bringing up that Kyrie won a championship and he's been there 4 times, yada, yada, yada. But he did win it with somebody else being the focal point.
Yeah.
And let's just say that his recent history hasn't been so hot.
Again, 7 years ago, right? So you talk about an age factor, right? Again, and Kyrie's right. And I'm not saying, what I'm trying to explain is I'm not saying Boston wins. What I'm saying is I don't think Dallas is a lock to win. And I think people are just kind of brushing Boston aside because of Luka. And they're not looking at Jason Tatum, who's averaging a double-double in the postseason, Jaylen Brown, who's kind of figured out how not to turn the ball over and dominate a game when he needs to.
Yeah, when Ron gives him credit.
Finally, right? That never happened. Right? Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday is by far one of the best pieces they picked up because there's a guy with experience. Guess what? He's won a championship too. More recent than Kyrie.
Yes. And his game has developed into something that's, he doesn't need to go out there and score, 25 points a game.
No.
But what he can do is go out there and say, you know what? I'm going to lift you guys up. You guys aren't having a good game today. I'm going to lift you up, and I'm going to drop 30 to go along with all the defense that he's playing.
Yeah, listen,
And
I,
that's what he's been doing.
I agree with you. Derek White, a defensive
Oh,
lockdown. And you know the great thing about Boston, they can switch on anybody.
yeah.
Drew Holiday can play your center, can play your power forward.
Yep.
Derek White can do it. That's where I think the matchups happen. Ron, so I wanted to do this real quick before we move on. I'm going to go by position, and you tell me who wins these matchups. So at point guard, they have Luka Doncic versus Drew Holiday. I'll give you Luka.
I think Luka
Yeah,
is the guy, but again, you're talking defensively, no.
Okay, thank you. Shooting guard, Kyrie Irving, Derek White.
Kyrie.
But again, defensively,
no.
Derek White. Small forward, Derek Jones Jr. versus Jaylen Brown.
Jaylen Brown all day.
Power forward, PJ Washington, Jason Tatum.
Jason Tatum all day.
Center, Daniel Gafford or Kristaps Porzingis.
Porzingis all day.
Backups for
Even
Dallas.
if it was Horford, it would be Horford.
Backups for Dallas, the key backups, Tim Hardaway Jr., Derek Lively II versus Peyton Pritchard, Sam Hauser, and Al Horford.
I'll take the Celtics on that one.
So that's what, and that's what bothers me. It's like people aren't looking at the matchups.
Right.
They're looking at Luka.
Yeah, everybody's assuming that it's just Luka and Kyrie versus Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. But the point of the matter is it doesn't matter who the Celtics put on that floor. They're going to play them hard defensively, and they're going to have a tougher time scoring than what they did in Minnesota. Period.
I will say, I don't appreciate you plugging other podcasts while you're on Sports Unfolded. It doesn't matter. Podcast on Rhode Island Broadcasting as well. Great wrestling show. Check them out on Rhode Island Broadcasting. Just having a little fun, Ron.
What are you talking about?
I will ask you this as well, Ron. Dallas Mavericks to get to the finals, beat the Los Angeles Clippers. What have they won?
Nothing.
OKC, the Thunder.
Young team. No experience.
The Timberwolves, who had Michael Jordan Jr. supposedly on their team. How do they do?
There's no one that can compare to a Michael Jordan Jr.
So, but people say Boston got it easy. I didn't see what Dallas did to get through either. That makes me feel like, wow, they really OKC, yes, the number one seed in the West, but they were an extremely young team who hadn't been there and don't even know how to experience.
They were this year's Sacramento from last season.
So
I knew they weren't going to go anywhere.
Don't give me Boston had an easy ride. Don't give me Boston got lucky. Don't give me. Listen, both teams won the games they should have won to get to where they are. I think it's going to be a phenomenal series. I really do. Because I think you got so many talented players that can just take over a game and do some spectacular things.
The depth of the Celtics they're just too good. They're just
too good. And the Celtics in these playoffs, Ron, dominating. Second overall in scoring, third in field goal percentage, first in point differential, third in points against, third in rebounds, and fourth in blocks. They are every statistical category. The Boston Celtics are doing something well.
You got to look at it this way, too. Porzingis has barely played.
2 whole series he's been out.
So if he comes into these games, that's a bonus to me because I think even if he's not there, the Celtics have the advantage with Horford. They have the advantage.
It's going to be a fun series. But people pissing me off, man. You listen to this national media, and it's like now all of a sudden Boston's lucky. But all season long,
Eric, I watched that game to clinch it, to finish off Minnesota, and I'm like, literally, it's just Kyrie and Luka. They're the only ones that have the ball. They're the only ones. That's it. And if you just make it difficult for those two players. Just make it difficult. You don't have to stop them. If they get 30 and 25, it don't matter.
Hey, there it is. It's plug number 2.
It doesn't matter for them because nobody else is going to hurt you. They're not going to hurt you. So, yeah, I mean, they can shut down Minnesota. Ooh. You only had to worry about one player on Minnesota, as far as I'm concerned, offensively. So you just cover everybody else, and you're fine.
Big Cat absolutely crapped his pants in that series.
He did. Anthony
Edwards, who's 22, I kept hearing he's tired, he's exhausted, but that's okay. Kyrie looked great. Guess what? Mike Conley, who's in his mid to late 30s, now Derek White and Drew Holiday are going to defend you. I think that's a much bigger upgrade defensively. Let's see how much Kyrie and how easy it is for him now to get up the court and do the things he did.
I think talent-wise, they have the best two players. Talent-wise. But unfortunately for Dallas, it's not a 2v2. It's about as simple as
great way to look at it. It's a great way to look at it. What a great discussion. NBA finals start this Thursday, June 6th, I think 8:30.
So a whopping. What's a whopping?
Kenny likes to, a little bit of ice, adult beverage,
a little something,
little adult beverage. But listen, I'm not even the Kyrie thing. I'm so far past it. And that's another story that I keep hearing about, like Kyrie back to Boston. Yeah, he stomped on Lucky. But I don't care because the last 7 years have stunk for him. So it doesn't even affect me. Like good for Kyrie comes back. Whoop-de-doo. I don't.
I
don't even consider that a story.
He's actually put his game and his head back together in Dallas. I'm happy for him.
Agreed. Right? Because we thought it last year it didn't look good.
No.
They figured it out. Good for you. You're in the finals. Listen, yes, we are Boston Celtic fans, and maybe the homer piece is coming out. All I'm saying is put respect on their name. The Boston Celtics are just as capable and have just as good as much talent. And everybody who's crapping on Jason Tatum about he hasn't stepped up, and the man's averaging almost, I think it's 25 and 10.
Yeah.
In this postseason.
He's been fantastic, and they're just gelling right now, and it's
the only thing that can hurt the Boston Celtics right now is 10 days rest. That's what they're going to have going into that game. It could be a good thing or a bad thing. Little rust.
Might be good for Porzingis.
I think it gives us a better shot. Yeah. I think it does give us a better shot. All right, Ron, great discussion. If you're out there live, you want to talk about the NBA Finals, let us know. Let us know what you think.
That was so good.
We're not gonna predict who wins it. We predict games. And obviously when it gets a little closer, we'll kind of let you know who's gonna win it. But we're gonna talk some NFL, Ron. Big story coming out of Cincinnati. So Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, both no-shows at the OTAs for the Cincinnati Bengals. Should we be worried about what's happening in Cincinnati right now?
I don't think you have to worry about Chase. I'd worry about Higgins, though. I'd worry about that because it doesn't sound like he's gonna want to stay there.
Yeah, right. He signed the.
But I think with Chase, Chase is going to be fine. I think he's just not there. Just because he's developed into a diva, maybe.
Yeah, and Higgins signed the franchise tag, and he was not happy about that.
No,
I just find it odd that both of these guys went at the same time and decided to take it off. Like to your point, I agree with Higgins, but you got Burrow coming back. You think Chase might have wanted to kind of get some practice in and do some things. So that one was a little odd to me.
He's been with Burrow for a long time, so I'm not really concerned about that. I don't think he's ready to abandon Burrow by any means. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if he re-signs with Cincinnati.
Interesting.
T. Higgins, I think, is a is done.
I will say this: depth on this team could be a concern. So Trent Irwin is their backup, 43 receptions, 5 touchdowns last season, and then Andre Civis. I probably said his name wrong. 15 receptions, 4 touchdowns. Yeah, I'm pretty good at names.
Well, they have that rookie, right? They get the rookie.
I mean, come on. I don't know chemistry. I'm starting to worry about these Bengals. I think their run was it was 2-3 years ago. And it'll be interesting to see if these guys decide to come back.
It's hard to believe, too, because their biggest problem was their offensive line, and I don't see them addressing it ever.
Yeah, and now you're going to lose both wide receivers that are top-notch. Ron, so every so often here on Sports Unfolded as well, we get some requests, and people want us to talk about certain topics. So us being from New England, we got a couple of New England comments that they wanted us to talk about Drake Maye. So Drake Maye of the New England Patriots has signed his rookie deal. 4 years, $36.6 million, fully guaranteed, $23.4 million signing bonus. His cap hit $6.6 million for his rookie season. Deal also includes a 5th-year option for the team. But the question is, realistically, Ron, is Drake Maye the answer to the New England Patriots turnaround going forward?
I mean, your guess is as good as mine, as good as anybody's, right? I mean, it's startling to see him in the number 10 jersey, because now he
right away
he looks just like him.
Yeah,
in a uniform. I'm already scared as a New England Patriot fan because, look, I said it at draft day. I don't think these quarterbacks are anything special. None of them in the draft. I didn't think they were anything special. I do not believe that you're going to get a CJ Stroud out of all of these, and wait, did I? Yeah, Stroud. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I was making sure I had the right guy.
You were good. You were good.
So I'm not hopeful. I'm not hopeful.
So
I'm just wait and see what happens.
I went back, looked at his college numbers. 2021, he only played 4 games. 2022, phenomenal season. 14 games, 342 completions, a 66.2% completion percentage. I really like that number. 4,321 yards, 38 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Kid doesn't make mistakes, right? Great. 157.9 QBR. You're like, wow, okay.
Yeah. Last
season, 269 in completions. So he went down. He only played 12 games, missed 2 games, 63.3% completion percentage, 3,608 yards, 24 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, a 149 QBR. So I start to look at it. He's going in the wrong direction. And people said, OCs, things change. I don't know how Alex Van Pelt's going to be with the New England Patriots. He hasn't been an offensive coordinator. He's coached quarterbacks. He's done something. I think we've seen this in New England before, where guys that aren't really offensive coordinators kind of come in and try to be an offensive coordinator. Right. It worked out really well. Yeah. Now my concern would be is this: did they get the right OC to work with Drake Maye?
Yeah,
that's where I would question. And I'm not down.
There's a lot of question marks, right? There's a lot of them,
and there's still no talent on this team.
No, there isn't, and that's the defining thing out of it all is where are all the receptions going to come from? He could have the accuracy as good as anybody, but if there's nobody to throw the ball to, you're not going to be so accurate.
Kendrick Bourne back, baby. That's it.
Yay.
That scares you, right?
Yeah.
I just.
If he was number 2, I'd be okay with that.
So the question too was the contract. The contract's you can't really manipulate the rookie contracts anymore and get. So the contract's a good contract. Again, 6.6 for his rookie year. I would have liked to seen them put some talent around him because this would have been the year to really see if this kid could.
But you and I both know that this team was not going to sign anyone.
Yeah.
Because they want the excuse. They want the excuse. Well, we had to redo the roster because it was so horrible when Bill Belichick was there
You
and
sounded
blah
like
blah blah blah
you had a
blah.
Robert Kraft moment there. You sounded a little bit like Robert Kraft.
Exactly.
So with all that
Today,
money is
we're
he
all
starting
Patriots.
spot. So the question is, with all that money, is he granted a starting spot? And I believe Jacoby Brissett's like 10 million this season.
Yeah, no, he's
So
definitely
so
he's
if they're going to
definitely
make,
going to be the starter.
I think at some point, depending on the question would be how soon. If they're 0-2, look really bad early, maybe they go earlier. I think they go like 8 games and see what happens, and then maybe he gets in. I I don't know. I don't think it guarantees him a spot to start. I do believe he will start at some point this season.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like their chances. I don't like their chances. They're going to clearly be last in their division.
And I honestly listen, and I'm going to throw a name out there, and I'm not saying he's this person. So please, for the love of everything that's sacred, do not just be like Eric said. Eric did not. Peyton Manning, though, started his rookie year and was horrible. Horrible, man. I mean, I think he like rookie record interception, whatever it was.
Are you saying
See, there it is. There it is. No, what I'm saying though is I think he's going to need more experience. If he's only played 2 years of college, I would start him earlier than later because I'd want to get him 10 to 12 games in the NFL. So this way, next season, at least he's seen enough and been on the field enough
he
to get this
survives?
right, get the speed, get the kind of
What's their offensive line going to be? You know what I'm saying? Like this has disaster written all over it. And frankly, I'm not even sure it's going to be any quarterback's fault,
yeah, no,
no matter
I
who
agree.
they put in there.
Agreed. Again, we said there's not much talent on this team, and it'll be interesting to see Gerard Mayo, his first year and how he coaches it as well. But great question. Thank you for sending that in. If you have anything you want to talk about or ask us, comment during the show or again afterwards. If you're watching us, send us a comment. Let us know what you want us to talk about. We'll definitely talk about it each show. We love to talk to the fans, so let us know what you think. But Ron, we're going to move on. We're going to talk some starting five. Starting five tonight, episode 22. We went back 22 years. So since 2001, Conn Smythe winners. We're going to give some love to the NHL. This was a good list.
This is a great one, and I'm actually glad you did this, even though you did it for a reason, and I know what the reason is.
Come on, no, I would never do that to you. Oh yeah, I would. But I will say this, Ron, some phenomenal names on this list.
Oh my God, this list is great.
Some great players, even though it's only been 22 players that we got to pick from. We had to pick 5 that we would start on.
Actually, less than that. It's 21 players.
Yes, because somebody doubled. Yes. Good call. Good catch, buddy. So a lot of fun. It's our starting 5. If you have an opinion or want us to do a particular starting 5, let us know as well.
For those that do not know, the Conn Smythe is the playoff MVP.
And that's why I wanted to do it, right? We were talking finals, pick and rolls about the NBA. I said NHL's playoffs are going on right now too. So let's have some fun with that. Ron, you are first tonight. Your starting 5. Let's start off with your honorable mentions, and I will give you my honorable mentions.
Oh, what a list this is. So I'm going
I had to cut it back
and work my way up.
I had to cut mine back because I was going to put 10 guys on my honorable mention. That's how good.
No, I'm only putting 5 guys on my honorable.
That's what I did as well. I cut mine back.
This gives the folks at home a chance to see what we think the top 10 really are.
Yeah. All right. So
I have Cale Makar, and I just thought, he's only been in the league 4 years. And when you look at those numbers, he's one of, 3, 4, 5. He's one of 5 guys out of all these players that average more than a point per game. And the fact that he has a cup to go along with that and 3 All-Star appearances in 4 seasons and a Norris Trophy to go along with that, I thought that was good enough. Those numbers are good enough to be an honorable mention.
Okay.
Because next season, he could be further up on this list and will be.
Okay.
Also, I have Patrick Kane.
Patrick
I was a
Kane.
little hesitant.
I had him on my honorable mention as well.
Honorable mention. He's got great numbers as
I didn't
far
like
as
the plus
points.
minus. Plus
But
minus
that
bothered me.
plus 16.
Yeah, didn't like that.
Hmm.
Didn't like that. But
Didn't like that.
471 goals in his career, 3-time cup winner. I was like,
Yeah.
you know what? Good enough to at least get honorable mention.
Honorable mention.
Agreed.
My next guy on the totem pole, Jonathan Quick.
Did not make my list.
Yeah, I put him on there. I looked at his numbers. He's got
Good numbers.
Look, out of all the goaltenders, he's actually got the best goals against average.
Agreed.
Out of all the goaltenders that have won this award.
Yes, sir.
So with 2 cups, I'm like, he's in. He's in honorable mention.
Yeah, I didn't like his save percentage. That's why I knocked him out.
9/11 actually would be 3rd out of all the goalies.
Yeah.
Well, not too bad. It's 9/11.
Okay.
At least it's not below 900. And then I have Victor Hedman, Tampa Bay defenseman.
I didn't put him in. I didn't think I had.
Yeah,
he didn't have
I
enough
just
for me
looked
yet.
at his numbers. 6 All-Stars. That's what I was looking at. 2 cups, 6 All-Stars. Just such a great defenseman. A plus 175. Those are really the 3 numbers that really got him vaulted up into this list. And then I have Scott Niedermayer as my last honorable mention. 4 cups, 4 All-Stars, a Norris Trophy, plus 167. I mean, he was a great hockey player.
Yeah. Listen, not bad. We had a lot. We had some differences. I had, and I'm surprised you didn't put him in, Tim Thomas.
Nope. Nope.
252, right? Goals against, but that 920 save percentage
was the highest out of all the goalies.
Extremely impressive. Yes. Honorable mention. Henrik Zetterberg, a plus 167. He won a cup in 337 goals. I liked his numbers as well.
I wanted to put him in there because nobody knows who he is.
Yeah,
and his numbers are stellar.
Very good, Zetterberg. Andre Vasilevsky, 2 cups, 293 wins. I like that. You said Kane and Evgeny Malkin. I always say his name wrong. Evgeny Malkin, 498 goals, 3 cups, made my honorable mention. So let's start it off. Let's start it off. At 5, Ron, who do you have?
At 5, I have Malkin. I have him there. Like, his numbers are fantastic. I did a crazy thing that I've developed, for all these lists. And so I added up all of his accolades, and and it came out that he was right there at the number 5 spot. When you look at those points, more than a point per game, 498 goals, 798 assists. That's in 1,145 games. So well over 100 points more than a point per game. 52, a plus 52, which is a little light, but it's not terrible, because when you like the really top defensive players, they'll go like plus 25 or so in a season. So I can live with that.
Ray Buck was pretty good, but anyway.
Yeah, a little bit. 83 game winners though, 3 cups, 3 All-Stars. He had 2 Art Ross for points, the point leader, 1 Hart Trophy for MVP, and a Pearson Award as well. He was definitely good enough to be in there. So we'll just say that, 3 of the 4 Art Ross trophies and Hart Trophy players got into the top 5.
Okay. All right.
Patrick Kane, only one not.
So Malkin at 5 for you. I had Scott Niedermayer, and I
Yeah.
did the 172 goals, 568 assists, but
They were right there.
that
They
plus
were-
167. You know how I am with my plus
He was
minus.
Niedermayer was my
love that.
bubble guy.
I love that stat. And then 4 cups, 4 All-Stars. So 1 more cup than Malkin, 1 Norris, and 1 Smythe, obviously.
Yeah.
But I liked the
Hell
plus
of a hockey player.
167. That's why I kind of put him a little bit.
No,
ahead of
I
him.
can see that. I can see that.
All right, so 4, Ron.
My number 4, Ovechkin. I struggled with this.
I almost kept him out.
I could have put him in number 2 if I wanted to.
I almost kept him out, Ron.
Yeah.
That's because of the 1 cup.
Yeah, there's a lot of reasons actually. And that plus minus of 45 is still glaring.
Yeah. Agreed.
It should be higher than that, because when you score 853 goals, 697 assists, I mean, those are amazing numbers. 1,500 plus points in 26 games, more than a point a game. 129 game winners, the most by anybody on the list. 12 All-Stars, which is the most on the list, tied with someone else. But at those 9 Rocket Richards, getting the most goals 9 years, I couldn't leave him out. Had to put him above Malkin, but it was a battle with 2 other players that I had to put him somewhere, and that plus minus and the 1 cup.
Yeah, I put him a little higher, but agreed. And the only reason why I put my number 4 ahead of him, Nicholas Lindstrom, is because of the more accolades that Ovechkin has won. But Lindstrom, plus 450. Ron.
Yeah, I could not put him behind.
I was like, holy cow! 4 cups, 12 All-Stars, 7 Norris, 1 Smythe.
7 Norris trophies.
Top
That
defenseman,
is
correct?
Absolutely amazing.
But I just Ovechkin just a little bit more on the accolades, and that's the only reason why I put him ahead of him.
I don't know about that.
Well, and almost 600 more goals.
Yes, but Lidstrom is a defenseman.
Yeah, I get it.
And Lidstrom had the most assists out of everybody on the list.
No, second.
Oh, yeah, second. Sorry.
You're trying to leave that man out, and
I'm not trying to leave him out. Well, so that's why I went Lidstrom number 3.
Yeah, so we just flip-flopped the 2 of those.
Yeah. And it was tough. Like 2 through 4 was tough.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, because I had Ovechkin at 3.
Yeah.
So who's your number 2?
So number 2, I put Sidney Crosby at number 2. And, because those 3 guys right there, those 3 guys were the focal point of my annoyance with this list. Because personally, I'm not a Crosby fan. I don't know if you know that.
Never heard it before. Wow, really?
Now,
that
look,
just start.
I'm not saying he's not a great player.
I mean, we're on season 4, Ron. I don't know.
Top 5.
I don't know. We're on season 4. I hadn't heard that before, so I don't.
But when you look at his numbers, and when I was trying to separate those 3 guys, what made Crosby rise to the top of those 3 was the fact of the intangibles, face-offs, defensively. Those are the qualities that, Sidney Crosby has that just rises above. I mean, besides the points, 1,596 points in 1,272 games, one of the few players that have over 1,000 assists, especially with the same team.
And we did that, right? We did that.
Yeah, a plus 217.
Mhm.
You know, those are the numbers that Ovechkin should have and
But
Malkin should have.
to your point, certain guys like injuries
Yeah.
have probably be. I mean, think about if he didn't
If he
get
didn't have injuries, he'd be way higher.
right,
It
and
wouldn't be close.
that's the part. But I agreed with you. I had Crosby at 2 as well.
Yeah,
Uh,
90 game winners too. So
yeah.
he does come up clutch. You know, the 12 the 8 All-Stars, 3 cups, 2 Conn Smythes, the only one on the list with 2. I mean, there are players, well, actually, yeah, the only one with
Yeah.
2. He's won 2 Art Ross, 2 Hearts, 3 Pearson, 1 Mark Messier award, and he's actually won 2 Rocket Richard awards too. So, the only thing that just annoys me isn't the fact that Crosby isn't a great player. It's where people put him in history, and that's the thing. Now, I'm not saying, he's not good. He's probably top 12,
I think
not counting
I was
goaltenders.
like top 10. No, top 12.
Top 12, not counting goaltenders.
Very specific, Ron.
Yeah, because I'd put him at number 12.
I like it. Sidney Crosby had 2.
He's a great player, though.
We should have probably the same number 1 as well.
It's got to be. Do you want to talk?
No, absolutely. It's your list. It's your list.
All right, Patrick Waugh is my number 1.
The man was incredible. Love this guy.
I mean, you look at those stats. Yes, he doesn't have the best save percentage. He doesn't have the best goals against average. But look at those freaking wins. 551 of them. That's incredible. So he rises to the occasion every single time. 4 Stanley Cups, 3 Conn Smythe. So out of the regular players, it was only Sidney Crosby. But this guy, out of the goaltenders, 3 Conn Smythe. But 2 of them were won before the cutoff.
Okay.
5 Jennings, 3 Vezina, 6 All-Stars. And I gotta say, he probably would have been to more All-Stars. He probably rejected a few of them.
I wouldn't doubt it. I will say this too, Ron. I looked up one other stat: 70 and 42 in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yes. Pretty good. 30.
And I didn't even mention the 66 shutouts.
Yeah. Yeah. 30. Yeah. Right. 38 games over. No, 28 games over. That's pretty impressive. Great player. Great player. Great player. Great list. Good job on that starting 5, my friend. I am. It
was hard because let me tell you, there's when you mentioned Zetterberg, but Jonathan Toews, I didn't even have on my honorable mentions.
Yeah, and
that's a great player.
Yeah, some really good players we left off. Yeah, some great players. All right, Ron, it is time.
I'm going to crap on somebody though.
Oh, go ahead.
Ryan O'Reilly. Why do they think he's so good? I looked at his numbers. He's a +2 for his career. A +2. They talk about this guy like he's better than a Bergeron or a Barkov, right? He's a +2. And you want to know why? Because he was +6 this past season.
So he would have been a minus.
So he would have been a minus if it wasn't for this season. He's the most overrated player.
Oof. You had to get one in, didn't you?
I had to get one in.
So
I needed to get a Christmas card lost.
I hear that. Let's talk some NBA, my friend, and we're going to talk Bronny James. He's decided to remain in the NBA draft. He's foregoing his college eligibility. Is this the best career move for him?
Probably not. I mean, he's not LeBron. Right?
I agree with
LeBron.
you. I will say this. That's him saying peace to the college NCAAs.
Yeah.
25 games last season, 4.8 points, 2.8 rebounds, 2.1 assists. I know he battled a serious health scare where it interrupted the start of his season. But I still feel like this decision is being made more based on his dad and how long his dad's going to play in the NBA. And I'm not sure
You
that
have to be an idiot GM if
it's
you
going to
draft
happen,
this
Ron.
guy early.
It's going to happen. And
I
I've
know
already
it's
heard
gonna
talks
happen.
like Atlanta might grab LeBron so that they'll grab Bronny just so LeBron goes. If this kid goes number one,
It
the
would be a
Hawks are
tragedy.
basically shutting their franchise down for the next 15 years.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying the kid doesn't have potential and can't improve, but I would have rather seen him stay in college one more year and make sure he's fully back to where he needs to be before you jump to the NBA. And I'm just surprised that even his dad, knowing the competition and knowing what this kid's going to face, would make him think this is the best career decision, because this could end up basically shutting him down. Kid could be out of the league in 3 years.
Oh, in fact, I wouldn't even be surprised if LeBron James told him to, just so he can come out onto a team, and so that way he can play with his son. And that is such a look. You will not get the same LeBron James if you draft Bronny. You draft him, you're going to get a LeBron James that is not going to think about the team. He's going to think about feeding his son the whole entire time, and they will absolutely be garbage.
Yeah,
Garbage.
I don't know. I don't understand it. And again, you start to hear all of these things about where he may go in the draft, and it blows my mind. Like the fact that they're even talking maybe a number one pick would blow my mind. Like
he's not good enough.
But it's this LeBron James sweepstakes. The guy's played 21 years. It's not like it's LeBron from 15 years ago.
No.
You're getting a guy that's on the very back end of his career.
The very back end.
He's got maybe 2 years left. So how do you sit back and say, I'm going to draft Bronny just because it gives me a shot with LeBron? Because all you're trying to do is sell tickets. It's just tickets and ticket sales. It's not the best thing for the team.
Yeah. So where's he going to end up? Orlando? Detroit?
Do the Lakers end up drafting him?
I can see Detroit doing it.
But do you think he doesn't balk at that anyway? He's probably telling where he wants to go.
Yeah.
So that's going to be the team that's going to draft him. Detroit. Yeah. If you don't want to go to Detroit, he's not going to go to Detroit. He's controlling the draft like he does the Lakers.
I'll tell you, I will be shocked if the Lakers draft him just to please LeBron. That would be shocking, because the Lakers are a storied franchise, and that would be a complete embarrassment. A complete embarrassment. And
it's going to happen.
It happens, and somebody's going to draft him, when it happens, we're going to be all over that.
And Ron, he's already said it. LeBron's already said he's going to go free agent because he's going to wait to see where Bronny goes.
Yep.
It's already happening. I guess the one benefit of that is it means basically LeBron knows this next season's his last year, and then we don't have to talk in the NBA anymore. I guess that'd be a good thing.
Right?
All right, Ron, great conversation. Let's talk some Major League Baseball, though. Ronald Acuna Jr. suffered a season-ending injury. Are you concerned now about his career after a second ACL tear?
Yeah. Look, this guy is a dynamic player. Arguably, top 3-4 players in the league? I mean, in baseball.
When healthy.
Both leagues.
Yeah.
When healthy. But now this is number 2. So you're already looking at a guy that's been around for what, 5, 6 years?
Yeah, it's like 6 years now.
So he's already missing 2 seasons, basically. It's a problem because he might just be one of those guys that gets really bad injuries and it slows his career down until he finally says enough. I mean, when you think about it, how different is he going to be than, say, a Dustin Pedroia? You know what I'm saying? Look, I know Acuna is better than Pedroia, but Pedroia was a very good, excellent, I should say, second baseman. And when you have those injuries that are long lasting, it gets to the point where you kind of get a little frustrated and then you give up. I think he's close.
Yeah, I would say, listen, both knees now. Yes, you rehabbed the last time, came back, won an MVP. That's great.
Yeah.
But you know who came to mind when I heard this? Mike Trout. Like, we had put Mike Trout as like the best baseball player in history, and it was going to happen if the kid continued to go on the path he was going, and then injuries started to.
Right.
And Acuna Jr. is, to me, the same type of player. Like, he was that impactful that you could see what the Braves have done. They built their team around him because he was so dynamic and could do so many things.
Yeah.
And these injuries aren't like it's a contact injury or he was on second, just trying to make a move to steal, and it blew his knee out.
Yeah.
I would be concerned. I would be concerned if I'm the Braves because this could shorten his career immensely.
Oh, it already has, right? It's already shortened it because you're missing 2 years, really. Not full seasons, but it's 2 years. And when you think about it now, how fast is he going to be, right? So he's already lost some speed from the first one. Now he's going to lose more speed, and now you're talking, well, we might have to have a position change. You don't have that dynamic player. You have a one-dimensional player when it's all said and done because, how long is it till he either plays, a role where he's just a DH?
And it's down the road. And again, National League.
It's coming soon.
Yeah,
Within
National
the next
League,
4
though, at
years,
least
he's
has
gonna
the
be
DH now, right? Yeah, at least the National League has it now, so that may help. But listen, he ended the season batting .250, 4 home runs, 15 RBIs, 48 hits.
Not a good season,
right? 1 MVP, 4-time All-Star, 3-time Silver Slugger, 1-time Major League Baseball Player of the Year, and the Rookie of the Year. The kid's had if you end your career today, which isn't happening, but I'm saying, right? Like, you look at it, he's had a good career.
Yeah.
But he would have been talked about as some of the greats of all time.
Yeah.
And these injuries are literally knocking him down each time.
Yeah.
It's a shame. It's a shame.
This is why, the history of baseball is far superior than most sports, right? Because it goes back so far and you can always compare somebody to somebody in the past.
Yeah.
And when you start thinking of these players that, that come through these injuries, look, Ken Griffey Jr., where would he be?
Yeah, another one, right? Those injuries started to really affect.
So, I mean, you put him in that same category. I mean, you're talking like
Harry Wood.
Elite.
Harry Woods.
Harry Wood.
Harry Wood. That guy, we thought that he was the next Roger Clemens.
Yeah.
In that, like, just that dominant. And again, injuries. Yeah, no, great point. Great point, Ron.
And it's too bad because, he's so likable.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, very much so. Very much so. Great discussion. Great discussion. Major League Baseball, if you're out there, check us out. Major League Baseball rankings come out every week. My man Mickey does a phenomenal job.
Yeah, he does. He's right on it.
So check that out. You can check all the national ones. Guess what? Ours are identical. Like,
yeah, this really opens up the door for Phillies, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Right. And we talked about that last week with our split decision. Good segue, because we are on to our split decision.
It's time for
Our split decision segment, basically, we ask each other two more likely scenarios, and then we have to make a decision. We have to pick what we
Even
think
if you don't
is
like
gonna happen,
the choices.
which happens sometimes. More often than not, Ron. More often than not. All right, you are first this week, so your first split decision.
All right, so let's go with the WNBA.
Ooh,
You know, I
right.
gotta say, their game is really good.
It is. It's very good.
It's really good.
I'm glad they're getting more exposure.
I am too, and here I am. I'm going to do a split decision on the WNBA, and so rookie Caitlin Clark
Mhm.
averaging 17.6 points and 6.6 assists. It's pretty good. Pretty good. The team is terrible, but that's pretty good. Who is likely to be the biggest threat to win Rookie of the Year instead of her?
Mhm.
Angel Reese of the Sky, Rakia Jackson of the Sparks, or Cameron Brink? I can't read my Cameron Brink. Yeah, she's the rookie. So from the Sparks as well. Which one of those three you could see taking that away from Caitlin Clark?
I may be incorrect. I think it's tonight or it's tomorrow. Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark are playing each other. I think that ultimately will start to have an impact. Can Angel Reese have a better game? Her team's more successful. I think that may put her ahead. The Spark are kind of, I think the two of them on the same team hurts.
Yeah.
Because it takes away. So I would definitely go at Reese, Angel Reese, because I just think she has a better opportunity based on the fact that Cardoza, who is on her team as well as a rookie, ended up getting injured and is out for a few weeks. I think that pushes Angel Reese ahead, especially with our team having a winning record right now.
Very good.
So I would go Angel Reese.
See, I'm telling you, Eric, I love talking about that
WNBA. And I will say this, Ron, I don't even know if Caitlin Clark's a lock for Rookie of the Year now. Based on what if she performs the way she's performing now, I'd question it. I'm just saying. Her team's what's her team? 1-8?
1-8, though. Yeah, the team's horrible.
So I'm not. And they got Aaliyah Boston, who's a very good player. And so it's not like she has no talent on that team.
Yeah.
Nope.
I think with time they could gel, those two. The rest of the team.
Ron, my first split decision. More likely to be a finals MVP in the NBA. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Luka Doncic, or Kyrie Irving after this series is over.
That's a tough one. Because
I don't think you can win it if you don't win the championship.
Yeah, and that's the thing, because I think Luka will probably be the best player offensively.
So Jaylen Brown won the Eastern Conference, and Luka won the Western Conference for the conference finals.
Yeah. See, I want to go Jaylen Brown, but I don't think they'll give it to him. I think it'll be Jason Tatum.
Okay. Jason Tatum. All right.
I mean, it could be a wild card and go Porzingis.
I don't even know. There's still not a guarantee he's playing.
That's why I'm afraid to say it.
Yeah, I would go Tatum.
Because I think he's going to be dominant if he plays.
Second split decision, Ron.
Oh, yeah.
That's how we do this.
I was just waiting for it, and I have to actually read it, right?
Yeah, I think that's how I can't make a decision if I don't.
Free agency starting July 1st for the NHL. Who will land the biggest contract of these three players. Who will more likely land the biggest contract of these three players? Steven Stamkos, who's
Mhm.
34,
Mhm.
which I thought he was older, but
Yeah, it's not.
and he had 40 goals last season. Sam Reinhart, 28-year-old, 57 goals last year. Or Jake Gensel, 29-year-old, 30 goals last year.
I'm going Reinhold. Just based on what I'm seeing in these Stanley Cup playoffs, that kid has been everywhere.
Yeah.
And his name, I mean, and Ron, I've literally watched games. So it's not like me just
Oh, I know you have.
I've been watching the games, and this kid's name's being mentioned in every game.
Yeah.
Like he's making plays. And again, I didn't
Right.
even know 57 goals. Like to me, he's basically increased his contract value off of these playoffs
Yeah.
because he is nonstop. Stamkos, very good player. And again, 34 may scare some teams. There may be a team that just says, hell with it, I'm going to do it. But I think this kid Reinhold has done just such a good job of getting
Reinhardt's
his name out
such
there.
a good player. Like he really busted out this year, right? And you would think, oh, well, it's only the first time he's done it. But the fact that he's only 28.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're going to get, 5 good years.
Playoff experience, right? The kid can perform in big games.
And he has. He's been one of the better players on the team.
Yeah.
Throughout the whole season. I'm sorry, Kachuk, you're not as good as Reinhardt.
Yeah. No.
I mean, clearly. It's just the way he gets the chances, right? It's like he makes something happen when he doesn't have the puck. And that's what makes him special.
Yeah.
And the other two players are great. I like Gensel. And
Yeah,
to me, I think it's going to be between Reinhardt and Stamkos.
Yeah.
Stamkos is going to get paid because he's center, and there's not many centers available.
Yeah. I heard Boston, by the way.
Yeah, I know. That's what I want. I want Stamkos. You can still get 3 good years out of him.
My second split decision. Ron, more likely to have the best batting average by the time the season ends. Luis Arias, who's at 332.
Yep.
Mookie Betts, who's at 332. Or Shohei Ohtani, who's at 330.
Oh, this is so good. I don't think it's going to be Arias. And he's good. He can hit. But the other two are special hitters. I'm going to go Mookie. I'm going Mookie.
Okay. Mookie's a very good, extremely good player.
I think he's one of the best in baseball.
It's funny because I was talking to somebody the other day, and I said, because they're on the West Coast, I don't think he gets as much exposure. If he had stayed in Boston, I think he would have been such a bigger star just based on what he does.
Yeah.
So, no, that was good. Good stuff, my friend.
Yeah, I like Mookie Betts. Oh, man. Red Sox really bungled that.
You know that. That's finances, bro. That's what happens.
Yeah, finances.
That's what happens.
Because they put all the money into golf and the Pittsburgh Penguins of all teams. How do you buy the Pittsburgh Penguins when you own the Red Sox?
You can't buy the Bruins. Ron, it is NHL time. Let's talk some NHL. Florida Panthers have taken a 3-2 lead in the Eastern Conference Finals. Should we just assume it's a lock for them heading back to the Stanley Cup based on what we've seen?
Based on what I've seen throughout this series, yes. And I thought the Rangers were going to be better able to handle it. They weren't even as good as the Bruins were to handle it. And that's sad. Because I was rooting for the Rangers
talent that
in
the Rangers have, right?
And there's like a no-show for their star players. Lafreniere is the only guy that actually showed up on offense to me. Because he's involved in everything. Everybody else is just like floating around, and they're basically leaving Shesterkin and the defense by themselves.
Can I just say this? The offensive zone, like Florida is in the offensive zone, but Paul Shesterkin, the man is just being blanketed with shots.
Like
Blanketed.
Flaming.
Like, play some defense.
Yeah, no, I mean,
and it's it blows my mind that this guy still is like a 920 save percentage in the postseason.
Exactly.
So it's not his fault. And I looked at it this way, Ron. They've lost games 3-0, 3-2, 3-2. The key is in the 5 games that they've played, the Rangers have only scored more than 2 goals once.
Right.
And that was a game 3
That's
overtime.
what I'm saying. They're not even as good as the Bruins were.
They're not getting any goals at all.
No. They're not even getting chances for the most part. And when you got a team that can play that solid, they're going to the Stanley Cup.
Which is insane, right? You think about it. When we talked about it, we like the Rangers going into the series. You just assume the Rangers with all their talent, Shesterkin in net, they had all the pieces.
And I'll even go
Adam
one
Fox,
step
right?
further.
Best defenseman, one of the best defensemen. Like you even pointed out, like all these players. None of them.
I'll even go one step further. If they have to play Dallas, and they will, Dallas is built just like the Bruins and Rangers. They're going to win. Because I know they're not going to get enough offense. And I don't care who you have there in net. You're not going to get enough offense. The only team that can beat Florida is Edmonton. And now I got to root for them to come back on Dallas because I don't want to see the Florida Panthers win it because I think that game is horrible. And that team, I don't like the team. I like a lot of the players on the team, but I don't like the team philosophy. And Matthew Tkachuk is the leader of that.
But I will say this, Ron, you can't score if you're not shooting the puck. And
right.
The Rangers' only shot they have is if these guys wake up in the next, well, obviously the next game, because if they lose, they're done. But where they've got to at least Pepper Bobrovsky, if you look at his goals against, it's 2.27.
Yeah.
Like the man is Boston, we said it the same thing in that series.
Not getting shots.
Boston wasn't putting up enough shots on him.
No.
And this is why he's looking so much better. He's got a better goals against average than Shesterkin. And it's not even fair because I think he's faced 200 plus less shots.
Right. They're not getting enough offense generated. The style of play is almost like the neutral zone trap. They just do it a little differently. That's all. You can't generate anything going through the neutral zone because they're just like clogging things up. And, then they're just getting in the way. They have an act for putting that stick out there at the right time or just standing there and it hits them, and they're just not generating any shots. And the players are coming back defensively, and that is clogging everything up, and they're clearing out the puck. For some reason, their team can get the puck out of the net because they do that lob and they just flip it out and they just go chasing it in the forecheck. It's not anything spectacular. It's not flashy. It's just effective.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
And until somebody can solve it.
And before we move on, Ron, I will say this, probably the best team when it comes to mental manipulation in a series. They did it with Boston, right? Yeah. After Marchand got hurt, you kind of knew like they were in the Bruins' head.
Yeah.
And you're seeing it with the Rangers as well, because the Rangers just when they have the puck, they seem to make some just bad decisions.
Yeah, and
it's like they're in their head a little bit.
Oh yeah, because now it's all these like little clutches, the holding, the subtle elbows and all these little things is getting to the players, and then you see their reaction, and That's what's causing a lot. They're a borderline penalty team, right?
Yeah.
They just do just enough to agitate, but not get the penalties.
No, very good series. The NHL playoffs by far phenomenal.
Been
Ron,
awesome. Been
great
awesome.
conversation, but it's time for pick and roll.
It's time for Pick and Roll.
Our pick and roll segment tonight, numbers 22 in the NBA. Some phenomenal players. We are on episode 22 of season 4. Luka, may the force be with you. These great players: Clyde Drexler, Elgin Baylor, Moses Malone, Larry Nance, Bernard King, and David DeBashar.
What is that?
DeBashar.
Okay.
We are ranking them from 6 to 1. You are first tonight. Your pick and roll, Ron.
All right. My number 6 is Larry Nance. 17.1 points per game, pretty good. 8 boards a game, pretty good. He's a pretty good player.
Mm-hmm.
And 3 All-Stars, 3 All-Defensive. It's pretty nice. I mean, but he's still number 6 here. Number 5, I have Bernard King. 22.5 points per game, 5.8 boards, 3.3 assists, 4 All-Stars, 4 All-NBA, and 1 scoring title. The only one to have a scoring title. But I just don't think there was enough here. He was great for 4 years.
Yeah. And when he was wearing 22, he wasn't very good. That was more the New York Knicks years. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, number 4, I have Clyde. He was an awesome player. I loved Clyde. Clyde the Glide Drexler.
Yes, sir.
Played 1,000+ games, 20.4 points per game, 6.1 boards, 5.6 assists per game, which was the most on this list. But they're not, they're not the traditional point guards, right? So, but that's still pretty good. He is a Hall of Famer, of course. 10-time All-Star, 5-time All-NBA, and 1 championship. Put him at number 4. I just think that the other people, all total, had a little more to give. Dave DeBusschere. I'll pronounce it like that because it just sounds like a hockey player.
Gotcha.
But I'll tell you, this guy averaged a double-double, 16.1 points, 11.0 boards, 875 games. It goes back a little ways.
Mm-hmm.
8 All-Stars, 1 All-NBA. I do like Clyde's number there better. But he's a 2-time champ, 6-time All-Defense.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what put him ahead of Clyde. And that left 2. And these 2 were really
Very
special
good
players. They were really special. Elgin Baylor, I put at number 2. And I thought I was going to put him at number 1 at first. And I could probably do that if I twist some numbers around and use, some different kind of.
You pick him and you roll with him, Ron. So you got him at 2.
27.4 points, best out of all these players. 13.5 boards. I mean, that's also the best. But 11 All-Stars, 10 All-NBA, and a Rookie of the Year. That is it for the accolades. So that's what hurt him here. I love those points, but
yeah,
Moses Malone, 20.3 points. Yes, 7 points lower a game, but he also put up 12.3 boards per game, also lower. But 13 All-Stars, 8 All-NBA, 1-time champ. That's one of the numbers that put him above Baylor. 6-time rebounds champion, another number that put him ahead. 2-time all defensive, also another number. 3-time MVP, that just cinched it.
Yep.
You know? And then a finals MVP on top of that. Moses Malone, my number one.
All right. Very close. We had a very close. I had Nance at 6. I agree with you. Good player. Very solid. Solid numbers. I had Bernard King at 5. To your point, 4 All-Stars, 4 All-NBAs, 1 scoring title, but it was all, again, later on in his career. Dave
Yeah, you had those
Debashar,
two flop.
I had at 4.
Yep.
And then Clyde Drexler, I had at 3.
Yeah, and I can see this.
But I agree with you. Baylor and Moses Malone, I debated as well, but those 3 MVPs and then a finals MVP as well for Moses Malone. So that's where I went with Moses Malone as my number 1 as well. So, Ron, we've got a big announcement, and we want to welcome and congratulate Charles Barkley has joined the Sports Unfolded Hall of Fame, along with Cynthia Cooper, who has joined the Sports Unfolded Hall of Fame. They are now inducted into our Sports Unfolded Hall of Fame. Check out our website for more information on that as well. On our left side of the screen, you can see who has been voted for and has failed to make the list so far. On the right-hand side, those are our inductees. Currently have 26 athletes in. We are going to be putting up a new poll starting tomorrow, and we're going to let you know now who those athletes are for the next inductees for the Sports Unfolded Hall of Fame. Ron, you want to bring those up?
Yeah, as soon as I figure out where it is.
Live TV. Got to love it, people. While we're waiting, WDJY 99.1 FM in Dallas, Georgia. Thank you for joining us every Saturday at 1 p.m.
It might take me a little while.
Check us out every Friday night at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. SEC TV, Tuesday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Public Access Channel 12 in Southeast Connecticut. You can also join us live every Friday night. You can follow us on all our social media platforms. I don't know what's going on over there. But join us on all our social media platforms at Sports Unfolded, at RI Broadcasting RI as well. So many great programs on Rhode Island Broadcasting. Check those out as well. And then when you want to vote for these next inductees, you can go to the Sports Unfolded sports poll page. They will be up, and you can vote for them as soon as we bring them up.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Baseball, Major League Baseball is going to be a very difficult one. These are some phenomenal players in Major League Baseball. Not that all these athletes aren't, but this baseball one, there's definitely going to be some difficult voting when it comes to that one.
All right, it's uploading right now. For some reason, it disappeared off of here.
All right. So we'll get back to
baseball.
Are you ready? Baseball. We have Jackie Robinson, Joe DiMaggio, Sandy Koufax, Ted Williams, and Ty Cobb. I mean, I don't even know who to vote for. But those will be on our Sports Unfolded sports poll page. We will share that tomorrow. These will be the athletes that we are trying to induct into the Sports Unfolded Hall of Fame. Sports Unfolded Hall of Fame voted by the fans as well. And then our second vote would be for Bobby Charlton, Dale Earnhardt, Arthur Ashe, Rocky Marciano, and Mary Lou Retton. Some phenomenal athletes. So you will have an opportunity to vote on Sports Unfolded sports page. Make sure that you cast your vote and get one of these athletes into the Sports Unfolded Hall of Fame. Check it out on our website as well, where we have a Hall of Fame page and let you know all of their accolades as well. So, Ron, it is time for predictions, my friend. And this is going to be another fun week. So last week, picked up a game on you. Looking forward to this, though. Let's see if we get some participation tonight as well. 62% right now. We're almost halfway through the year, Ron. Pretty good. You're at 55. Not bad at all, though. Not bad at all.
No, it's actually a pretty good. It's pretty good.
Yeah. So
But
we're having.
You're at a clip right now that is just insane.
Yeah. Yeah. If it only worked in real life.
Right.
So, Ron, it is time for our predictions. If you want to join in, let us know who you pick, and we'll add you to our list as well. We're starting off in the NBA, Ron. And on June 6th, there's some game called the NBA Finals. The Dallas Mavericks at the Boston Celtics. It is game one. Who do you have?
Game one, I have the Boston Celtics.
Boston Celtics. I think I agree with you that the Boston Celtics will take game one. So I have picked the Boston Celtics as well for game one of the NBA Finals. That, again, is June 6th. If you are live and you have a pick, just put it in the chat, and we'll definitely add your name to our list as well. Ron, tonight you got the Edmonton Oilers at the Dallas Stars. Game 5, that series is tied 2-2. I am going with the Dallas Stars. I'm going with the home team here. I think they can do enough to slow them down in this game.
Yeah, I have Dallas as well. I just think Edmonton just doesn't have a goaltender, right? I mean, they just don't have a goaltender. And that is bad when you got to face a guy that can shut you down, at any time. Even though I think that Edmonton is built to beat Florida.
They've put up some goals on them, though.
So, yeah, they have. But, when you have that guy that can just make that save when you need it.
Yeah. Kenny went Boston. Kenny also went Edmonton. Tomorrow, Ron, you got game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals. The New York Rangers at the Florida Panthers. Florida leads that series 3-2.
Yeah, Florida takes this one. I think this is it. Florida's not going to give the Rangers an opportunity. They're just going to smother them in this game at home. And it's going to be a lot of the same. Rangers don't get enough shots.
Yeah.
Can't generate any offense. And that's how it's going to be.
Kenny going Oppo tonight. I will say this, Ron. If it's a close game, definitely Florida, no doubt. I picked Florida as well because I think they know that if they go back to New York, that you're playing with fire at that point,
right.
And I think they understand that. So I went as well with the Florida Panthers. Kenny went Rangers. We have some Major League Baseball starting on June 3rd. The Milwaukee Brewers at the Philadelphia Phillies. Both teams in first place.
Yeah.
3-game series. To me, Philadelphia is flying high right now and playing such good baseball. Number 1 on a Major League Baseball rankings list. I stuck with Philadelphia right now.
Yeah, I'm sticking with Philadelphia as well. I just think, they're just a little bit better in every area. And let's face it, they've played a little better competition as well. So I like the Phillies. Now there's really nothing that can stop them in that division.
At least, yeah. Agreed. June 1st, Ron, Michigan Panthers at the Birmingham Stallion UFL. I will tell you this. First loss last week. The Stallions. This is for first place.
I know.
And I'm a little nervous because I'm telling you right now that I think the Stallions might take the playoffs are coming up in the UFL. I'm going Michigan here.
I was thinking about it, but I'm not going against my Italian Stallions. Last week was a little blemish. But I think they're going to get back to the basics and then stop putting up some offense again. So I'm going Italian Stallions.
Going with the Stallions again. Okay. Kenny went Stallions as well. WNBA action tonight. You got the Dallas Wings at the Connecticut Sun. Only undefeated team in the WNBA right now. The Connecticut Sun, 6-0. What a great season that they've started off with. Who do you have?
They're still going to be undefeated after tonight. Or wait, is it tonight?
Tonight. Yep. Should be.
They're still going to be undefeated. This Connecticut team is so deep. Like
Kenny's
you're not gonna.
Hey.
Nobody is running away and being the go-to player. It's just so balanced.
Yeah. No, they're very good team.
It doesn't like somebody is just stepping up at different moments of the game, and it's such a balanced team. I like Connecticut. There we go.
I went Connecticut as well. Kenny, a little emoji. We don't see that too much out of Kenny. He went the Sun as well.
I like that.
It's about time, Kenny, stepping up your game. Ron, this Sunday as well, you got Enjoy Illinois 300. We need a top 5 driver. Last week, you had a top 5, finished 5th, your driver. Yeah. So we've done pretty well with picking a top 5 driver.
We've been doing that pretty regularly.
Yeah, pretty consistently. We've gotten a top 5 driver. I picked Martin Truex Jr., who's second in points in the standings.
He
hasn't won a race. Yeah, he hasn't won so I think this might be the one.
Yeah, I was thinking about him, but I decided to go with Kyle Busch. He's won it before, and he's trying to become the first driver to win it twice. So I went with Kyle Busch, despite, Larson seeming to be favorites in just about every race.
Yeah, it's like, wait a minute. So Ron, great show. Thank you, Kenny, for your participation during our prediction segment. It is time for final thoughts. As we end our show, we normally do our final thoughts, and it doesn't necessarily have to be about anything sports related. It could be about anything going on in the world today. But before we get into that, Ron, can you tell all the wonderful people out there that are going to watch us and have watched us live how they can become sponsors of our show and get their name on that banner right above my head?
All right. Yes. All you have to do is just send us an email to ribroadcasting.media@gmail.com. We can send you out all the information you need. But Eric, like I tell you every week, all the information you need is that it costs less than going to your local coffee shop and buying a large iced coffee and a cinnamon roll.
Oh, yeah. Good on cinnamon rolls. I love cinnamon
rolls. Oh my God, they're so good.
Right.
So it costs less than that. Look, it is vital to shows that are trying to get into this market. It is vital because the cost is way up there. Look, it costs just to use this program we use. It costs just to host things. There's a lot of cost. And you can help out by sponsoring your business and getting it up there. And, and the fact that it's a great show.
Best sports podcast on the planet, Ron.
Yeah.
Best sports podcast.
That's all you have to do. Just send us and we can send you out the information. It's not hard.
Hundreds, thousands of eyes on your business every single week.
Yeah.
And not just visually, audio as well.
2.6K
last
episode.
And podcasts on Spotify, Google, Amazon, Red Circle, TuneIn as well. So not only just visually, you can be heard, your business will be heard as well. So check that out. WDJY 99.1 FM in Dallas, Georgia has taken on Sports Unfolded. We appreciate all the support there.
Absolutely.
And we will be talking to people everywhere across the country.
That's right.
So get your business on our banner and make some great things happen. Ron, it is final thoughts time.
Yes, it
And
is.
you are first this week. So if you
And I have two short ones.
okay, I love it.
Two short ones. The first one, it actually goes out to Kyrie. Come into Boston, be respectful, and you'll probably warm some hearts at the same time, as long as you lose. As long as you lose, you'll warm some hearts. And I say this because I've seen the way his actions are in Dallas this season, and I'm so happy for him. So happy for him that he has peace inside himself. And that is so key. So I just hope it continues, and I wish him all the best, except for in this series. My second one is I saw a wonderful thing today. Wonderful thing. So I was coming out of a store, and it was right near where the bike path is, and I was walking back, and there were these two girls that were off their bikes, and I'm like, what the heck's going on? Then I look, and there's a deer literally right next to them, and they were hand feeding the deer.
Oh wow.
It was that, like, I wanted to go over and take some pictures and stuff like that, but you know what? I didn't. I let them have that moment, because that's something that you don't get to experience often, if
Yeah, that's
at
crazy.
all. And it just struck me as something special, and you can see how happy they were. And with all the crap that goes on with this world, there's still something good out there.
Yeah, absolutely. No, great point, man. Great point. Ron, my final thought, because I have two as well.
Of course you do.
I will say very sad one to begin with. PGA golfer Grayson Murray
Yes.
committed suicide at the age of 30 after, struggling with alcoholism and depression. Think about it. He played on Thursday, withdrew from the tournament on Friday, and then they found him Saturday. Unfortunate situation. And again, last day of the month, Mental Health Awareness Month. So check on some people, make sure they're okay. It's the silent disease that most people don't see or know about. And just people saying they're okay doesn't mean they are. So check on your friends, check on your family, make sure they're okay. Because again, I don't think this was expected at all. And it took the golf world by surprise. So bring some awareness to it and make sure that you check up on your loved ones and your friends. They may need you.
This is why we do the show, Eric, because we want to make people feel better.
I hope so.
We have a very good show, and we talk, about the athletes and stuff, but we're still human.
Mm-hmm. Very much.
And we care what goes on out there. So if you're watching the show, please comments, do whatever, because you never know what comments can do to even for yourself.
Yeah.
Even for yourself. You might develop a rapport with somebody that's watching the show, or us.
Actually, I have three, Ron, and I apologize, but I don't want to forget this one as well. So obviously the Murray family, our condolences, and we wish you, in your tough times that you're able to get through this and understand. Also, the basketball world, we lost one of the greats in Bill Walton. And I almost forgot that, again, you think about what he did for broadcasting. He won a championship here in Boston, so he's always near and dear to our hearts. And a sad loss, died, that ugly disease, cancer, again, has taken another one. But Bill Walton and his family, obviously, our condolences as well. And I will try to end on a little better note. The Minnesota team from the PWHL, the Professional Women's Hockey League, has won the first championship in that league's history. Here's what I want to see, though. Can we get team names for these teams so that next season, whoever wins, they have a name? Because right now it's just Team Minnesota won. What is that? Come on. let's get some names. Let's get to have some fun with that. But
And
congratulations to that.
support the league too.
Yeah, right. Great league. 6 teams. But again, listen, WNBA started somewhere too. So let's support this league as well. We saw how well these women play, and congratulations to Minnesota. So I want to thank them or congratulate them on a phenomenal season. Beat Boston too, Ron. Beat Boston.
Yeah, I know. I know.
So I do want to say before we go, you can donate BitStars to us as well. You can buy me a coffee. Check out that website as well and donate to Sports Unfolded. If you'd like to be a sponsor, get your name on there. Check out Sports Unfolded Sports poll page. We will have our voting up tomorrow. Bobby Charlton, Dale Earnhardt, not Jr., Arthur Ashe, Rocky Marciano, and Mary Lou Retton in one category. And then in the Major League Baseball category, Jackie Robinson, Joe DiMaggio, Sandy Koufax, Ted Williams, and Ty Cobb. All phenomenal. So
Good
I don't
luck
even
with
know.
that.
Yeah, I may start out that voting because I think that, to your point, all of them deserve to be in. But check that out. Vote. Get our next athlete on our Sports Unfolded Hall of Fame. Their names are right there on the right-hand side. Those are some of the nominees that have been so far voted for but not elected into the Hall of Fame on the left-hand side there. So Charles Barkley, congratulations, joining the Sports Unfolded Hall of Fame, and Cynthia Cooper.
He's such a good player
as well.
Too bad
right?
he didn't win one.
That it's like there's certain guys you say should have won a championship. He would have been one of those guys. Just what he did. The mound round of rebounding, right? That was his nickname. So I want to thank everybody that's joined us live tonight. Kenny, one of our best. Tune in next week for our NBA Finals show and our NHL Stanley Cup Finals show. Those will be out next week, as well as we talk about the finals and who's going to win and what we think is going to happen. So tune into that at Sports Unfolded on YouTube. So much going on.
New show coming up Monday.
Yeah, congratulations on that as well for Rhode Island Broadcasting.
Going on daily. I'm going to be joined by Richard on Monday and Mike on Tuesday, and we'll have somebody else will also be another host along the way as well, and can just rotate everybody in and out.
Sweet. Congratulations on that. Check out Rhode Island Broadcasting, man. A lot of great shows, a lot of good things happening, a lot of great podcasts as well. We are here every Friday night, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't miss us. Join us live. Tune in. You can chat, like, share, and follow our show. And then make sure you join all of our social media platforms so you can stay informed with all of the great things that Sports Unfolded is doing. I want to thank you, Ron, for a phenomenal night. What a great show tonight.
Great show.
Appreciate all your time. Everybody out there, I hope you have a wonderful week. We'll see you next week. And all we ever ask for every single show is peace on earth.
Have a great night, everybody.